So after the show, I will be over by the door, bare-assed, waiting for you to come by. But you know what? It seems like we have a few too many people in the crowd tonight. So what I think we should do is, if all of the ugly people could recuse yourselves, I think we should be about okay. And if you're wondering if you're one of the ugly people or not, you're kind of on the fence, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to sit this one out, maybe next year. One more thing, sir. You're on the sexy side, right? You were considering yourself on the sexy side? Okay, well you are. I'm putting you there. And if you could kind of hang back, bring up the rear, and administer that big one to grow on, that would be great. So, okay, I know that's a lot of information. Just to recap, it's my birthday. Bare-ass spankings. Only the sexy people. Big one to grow on in the rear. Okay, so before we focus too much on 2006, I would like to pay a little homage to what I consider to be the greatest moment of 2005, which was Tyra Banks' interview of Naomi Campbell on the Tyra Banks Show. Did any of you catch that? It was brilliant. It was the interview that only Tyra can do. Barbara couldn't do it. Larry King couldn't do it. This was Tyra's moment. And for any of you who have been living under a rock for the past 2 decades, Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell are like the world's 2 biggest supermodels. They're both black, they're both fierce, huge rivalry, hate each other. So Tyra brings her on the show, they're going to clear the air, it's going to be a big touching moment. And Tyra's got an axe to grind. So she just jumps in and takes it all the way back to the beginning and starts out, Naomi, when I was 17 years old, and Naomi cuts in and says, I was 21, it was 1991, 14 years ago. What the fuck? Who knew the bitch could talk, let alone add? But Tyra's nonplussed. She's, you know, actually I think she's a little bit enheartened by the fact that Naomi's paying attention to what she's saying. So she's like, okay, you know, she's like, do you remember the Azadine Alive fashion show that we did together? She's like, oh, we had the braids and the little white frilly thing. She's like, yes, yes, yes. She's like, I was so excited. It was my first fashion show with you. And I was on the phone with my aunt backstage. And I'm telling her, Auntie, you know, Naomi Campbell's right here. She's right behind me. You know, how amazing is that? And I got off the phone. You came up to me and you said, bitch, we have a shoot together next month in Anguilla. And if I hear you talking about me again, the shit is going to get ugly. And she's like, you know, do you remember saying that to me? And Naomi's like, oh, yeah, I totally remember that shoot. You know, I've been doing some research, and I just discovered that Anguilla was settled by English colonizers in the 1650s, and it was administered by Great Britain until the early 19th century, at which point it was incorporated into a single British dependency against the wishes of its people until 1771, when it was granted its freedom. What? Like, I mean, doing a little math is okay, but now the bitch done gone supermodel Rain Man. You know? She's like, it's 4 o'clock, definitely have to do the Isak Rossi fashion show, you know? So it's kind of weird, but so Tyra's just like, okay, so do you remember saying that to me or not? She's like, no, I don't remember that at all. So Tyra is, you know, plugging on. She's like a dog with a bone at this point, or like a chihuahua with a rip of celery, as the case may be. And she's like, okay, so we go to Anguilla, and everything's going great. You know, you had invited me into your room and given me vitamins. Hold up, wait a minute. I know I have the benefit of experience and age, but Naomi Campbell hands you some pills, and you take them? What, you know, like, best case scenario, you wind up with a handful of Oxycontin and Percocet. Worst case scenario, she slips you a roofie, and 3 days later you wind up cow-tied with electric tape on a garbage barge, slowly chugging up the New Jersey coastline. Tyra? No, I don't know where she's going. I think she got homesick and swamped for America. You know? So she's like, you know, I was a little seasick on the yacht, the shoot was on a yacht, and you let me put my head in your lap. And you asked me, Tyra, do they, when you go to photo shoots, do they ever try to make you look like me? And I said, yeah, Naomi, I think they used to do that a lot in LA, but now I don't think they do it so much. You stood up, threw me onto the ground, put your high heel shoe on my chest, and said, bitch, you're not going to be me, you never will be me, get out of the industry before I kill you. Naomi's like, that's awful. She's like, I know. She's like, that was that shoot where we had the high heel, the really high stilettos, wasn't it? She's like, yes, I still have the mark. She's like, oh my God, who did that to you? So, she's not having a moment. She's trying to get something out of Naomi, anything. And she's like, well, Naomi, is there anything that you want to say? Is there any rumors you heard? You don't have to worry about hurting my feelings. I don't think that's been Naomi's MO to this point, a lot of concern for Tyra's feelings. So they go to commercial break. The second half of the show is meant to be a little bit more informal, and they have a studio audience come in at this point, and it's going to be kind of a retrospective of Naomi's career. And they come out, and before they even start, Naomi's like, Tyra, I have something to say to you. Before we go any further, I really want to tell you this. It's about your career. It's about what we've meant to each other over the years. It's about what you've accomplished. And, Tyra's thinking she's about to get her moment, because this whole interaction has kind of been like the girlfriend who wants closure from the boyfriend who's just moved on, and she's not getting it. So, Naomi's about to give her this, and she goes, well done, you. And Tyra's taking it. She's going to grasp at any straw she can. She practically breaks down crying. She's like, thank you so much. You don't know what that means to me. So that personally was my favorite moment of 2005. It was a slow year, of course. But I think Tyra really learned that although her legs may be 6 feet long, her arms are a little too short to box with God. So I'm going to call Scott back up to do a couple more minutes, and I'll be waiting for you all by the front door. Thank you very much.